Trump's just going to pardon them again, apparently, because Trump pardons these violent insurrectionists who tried to kill cops before. So it's not like there's a legal process anymore. Trump has his thugs running around on the street, making us all less safe as he guts the FAA and guts all our government agencies, making us all less safe in general. Biggest flu season ever, by the way. Ebola case in Africa, by the way. It seems like every day there's another plane crash or there's a train being, imploding or something that I'm seeing, or that we're reporting on every single day. We're less safe in general. Sorry, I digress there, but I think it's important to connect all of this to we are less safe under the Trump administration. But these FBI agents saying we're not safe. And by the way, we, the people, are less safe when our top FBI agents, who are the ones who investigate trafficking, who investigate drugs, who do the fentanyl seizures, they're all getting fired. And so is our CIA. In any event, Judge Boasberg, remember that name? He's the chief judge in Washington, D.C. He made findings that there's real credible threats to FBI agents. There's now a process in place where, pending a more preliminary injunction, but at the emergency stage, that if any names are going to be leaked, each FBI agent has a 2-day period to bring a writ or to file some documents before the judge to stop it from happening. So it was a win for the FBI, a win for the FBI agents there. Popok, there's a few other injunctions that we could talk about. I mean, this injunction that was issued by Republican Judge Lamberth, Reagan appointee, on what Donald Trump was trying to do with the transgender women in prison populations. Sure. And I should mention as well, I mean, cruelty is the point here. I don't know if anybody saw this. We posted it. Not a lot of news is covering it, but we cover important news on the Midas Touch Network. So Congresswoman McBride, the first transgender congresswoman from Delaware, and she doesn't like her whole thing too is, people elected me because I helped Delaware, not because I'm a transgender woman. So I'm not making identity part of my representation of Delaware. I'm just trying to represent the people. But Popok, they try to torture her, the Republicans in the House of Representatives. So one of the things they always do now to bully her is they'll always refer to her as the gentleman or the congressman or Mr. And so when there'll always be a presiding pro tem speaker. And whenever they have Congresswoman McBride speak, they'll say, "What would the gentleman like to say? Mr. McBride, you may speak." And so they're doing that. That's what the Republicans are doing in this moment of history. Just cruel for the sake of cruelty. Like, again, even if it's hard for me to wrap my head around the cruelty, but just why just be jerks? Like, why do that? Just be normal and treat her with respect. Number one. Number two, you have in the prisons, Donald Trump's executive order would take the transgender women out of the women who have been there, transgender women who have been in women prisons their life, remove their medication, stop them from getting medication. And these are transgender women who have women genitals, breasts and vaginas. Move them into the male population, force them to shower with the men, live with the men, and take them off their medication. The finding by this Reagan-appointed judge, cruel and unusual punishment. Cruel and unusual punishment under the United States Constitution. And that's similar language to the Republican judge in Washington who blocked the birthright citizenship executive order of Donald Trump banning birthright citizenship, where that judge said something like, "We know that Donald Trump will refuse to follow the law, and this is one of the most egregious examples of that." So interesting, right? That Washington state judge, Reagan, Lamberth, Reagan appointed judges, almost the Reagan judges using some of the strongest language there, huh?
Yeah. And Nichols, who's a Trump appointee on the U.S. aid issue. Yeah, the cruel and unusual punishment. It also just shows you that the Trump administration and MAGA and the Republican Party, I'm not going to call it MAGA anymore. I'm going to call them the Republican Party. It lets the Republican Party off the hook to call it MAGA. The Republican Party has a perverse a use of discrimination against transgender people, which they use as a cudgel to go after all of the woke, liberal, moderate, progressive ideals that are in and embodied in our government. There are only 18 transgender people in the prison system. Okay. So to change, I'm not saying it doesn't matter to those 18, it does, but to like change a policy to force transgender women to be in a male population, to go after these. I mean, this is the way the bully pulpit of the presidency and the allocation of resources for our government should be. That's our focus, to taking away transgender rights, transgender people rights in university settings through changes to Title VII and sports and equality. This is what Donald Trump should be focused on. And Nancy Mace attacking her colleague from Delaware, saying, "Oh, she's not historic. There have been men serving in our Congress since its founding." And it's just mean, like you said, mean-spirited, depraved things.